What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got a reaction to Jude Cole and his album A View from 3rd Street, brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Trucker Kev. Thank you, Trucker Kev. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below or Patreon link on the end screen. We could not do it without him. Film so many videos every month. It's so time-consuming, but it's a labor of love. All right, before we kick it off, Kev knows a ton about music. He brought this. Here's what he has to say about this. He says, this album came on strong at the end of the decade. It launched one song after another up onto the charts. He would follow up with another great album a few years later with Start the Car. Not only a great singer, but a great guitarist and musician in general and producer, and I'll get into that in a minute. In fact, after his music career, he would choose to produce a lot of pop music further on in the mid-90s on in. This is a great start-to-finish, solid rock pop album. I have no particular favorites. I like the whole thing start to finish. I will save Kev's final rating until the end. I had never heard of Jude Cole. There's not a lot out there on Jude Cole. There's definitely not a lot out there on this album, but I found some stuff. So he's an American singer-songwriter, record producer, and talent manager from Carbon Cliff, Illinois. After spending 2 years as a guitarist and backing vocalist for Moon Martin and the Ravens, he joined the English pop band The Records as a guitarist for their second album, Crashes, in 1980. When the band returned to Britain, Cole remained in the U.S. to pursue a career as a solo recording artist. His first 3 solo albums, self-titled Jude Cole in 1987, this one, A View from 3rd Street in 1990, and Start the Car in 1992 were released by Reprise Records. The albums were met with minimal domestic success. During this time, he was commissioned to contribute to the soundtrack for hit films including Where the Boys Are, 84, The Karate Kid Part 3, not a good Karate Kid offering, Last Light, Navy SEALs, and Back to School, where he performed the theme song for that, featured predominantly in the film, and it became one of his most popular songs. That same year, he halted his recording career to manage the alternative rock band Lifehouse for DreamWorks. Meanwhile, he also managed Lindsay Pagano, I don't know who that is, for Warner Brothers. He chose Irving Azoff as a business manager and spent the next 4 years working on behalf of his company, Azoff Management. So, as Kev said, he diversified himself. He's a singer, but then he also went in and started producing and managing people. In 2003, Cole and his business partner, guy you might have heard of, actor Kiefer Sutherland, launched Ironworks Studios and Ironworks Records, which was rebranded from Watertown Records, which will go on to sign musical acts including Billy Boy on Poison, Ron Sexsmith, who we have a lot of stuff up on, and Honey Honey. In 2005, Cole oversaw Lifehouse's notable shift in lyricism and tone as he helmed executive producer duties on the band's 5th studio album. The band received one of their furthest commercial successes from the album's lead single, You and Me, which Cole co-produced and co-wrote. With Cole sharing a similar role for their subsequent releases, he signed them to his Ironworks label in 2013. Also in 2005, we'll rewind it, he contributed segments for the entertainment television Extra as a music critic, interviewing high-profile artists, including the Rolling Stones, Alice Cooper, and Bob Seger. So Jude's a very talented guy, right? He wasn't limited to just going up there and singing. Like, he can do everything. In 2016, he co-wrote and produced the entirety of Kiefer Sutherland's debut album, Down in a Hole, which marks the actor's first effort as a country singer. He held a similar role as well as engineering duties for the follow-up, Reckless in Me, in 2019. This album included a cover of Cole's song Open Road from his 1992 album, Start the Car. On January 20, 2021, he returned to his recording career with his 6th album, Coupe de Main, his first in over 20 years. He later released a cover album, Coolerator, on July 27th of that same year. He was married, so it says was. I couldn't find anywhere if he still is, to Lori Pfeiffer, the younger sister of actress Michelle Pfeiffer. That's a little bit about him. I have very little about the album. As I mentioned earlier, it's his 2nd solo album, released in 1990, 3 years after that self-titled debut. It met with largely positive critical response, although it only went to 138 on the Billboard 200. It remains his first and highest charting album. Production was handled by Canadian record producer David Tyson, who won Producer of the Year at the 1991 Juno Awards for the work on this album. All the songs are written by Jude, except where I note. Music will not be in the video, but it will be at a Vimeo link below, so click on that and follow along. Let's jump into it. With the album opener, Hallowed Ground, written by, of course, Jude and George M. Green. I don't know much about most of these songs, but we'll figure it out as we go. I'm going to have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Trucker Kev. All right, Hallowed Ground. He's writing about going home. I don't know if he's dead or he's just going back to his hometown. I think he's going back to his hometown, but it's possible he's dead. Just kind of bringing back all of those memories. I thought it was really well done. It's very well written, which I kind of assumed it was going to be. I don't know, just from this background, I assumed this is going to be a well-written album. Everything doesn't have to be perfectly written, but thought it was well done. Great instrumentation. That guitar riff in there was totally 1988 to 1992-ish in there, so it definitely brings you back to that time and place. But man, he reminds me of somebody, and I cannot place it. It was driving me insane. So it's going to continue to drive me insane, but maybe it'll make me snap to what it is. All right, next up, we got Baby It's Tonight. Single went to 16, his biggest hit. All right, Baby It's Tonight. I did not know this song. It definitely sounds of the time, right? The guitar work on here was great. It doesn't have musicianship credits, so I don't know who's playing what. The drumming was nice, but well written. I don't know it, but I mean, in 1990, I was a freshman in college, and I wasn't watching music as closely. I wasn't listening to it as much. And I had MTV on in the background, but I mean, I was busy. Freshman year of college was really busy. So I dropped out of the music scene just a little bit. I was getting pretty stale at that time, but I mean, this is really well done. You already see it below because I already advanced it. We got House Full of Reasons. It was also a single, but it did not make the top 40. All right, House Full of Reasons. A heartbreaking song because he's stuck in the house and she left him. Right, he starts out, this is the room where I sat and waited till the morning, watching the door you slam so hard it broke the window. Up and down, I've climbed these walls. I'm trapped. It seems I'm trapped inside this house full of reasons I should be moving on. You have me believing this is the way love goes, off and on among normal people. He's had a little different arrangement in all three of these songs. Not totally different, but a little different, and I like that, a little diversified. This is my favorite song as far as the way it was written. I don't know if it was my favorite song. I'll get to that at the end. But anybody that's been in a relationship like this, and I have. I was married for not even a year when I was 18 years old, back in 1990. And like when it's over, it's weird because you're still surrounded by a bunch of stuff from that other person. And so even if it was the right thing and you were ready to move on and they were ready to move on, you're surrounded by all of it. And he's in the same house, seeing all the same stuff, talking about seeing down the hall, the pictures in the hall of the happier couple. So I thought it was really well written for anybody that's gone through that. It really hits you. This one might be in the similar vein. We got Get Me Through the Night. Get Me Through the Night. The way it started, I thought it might be a little country tinge on it, but man, he got after it, man. Got after it. We had the nice backing vocalist coming in at the last like 45 seconds of it, so I really like that too. Added something different to it as well, arrangement-wise, so that's 4 songs in a row. Have a little something different, so I can see why Kev likes the repeatability of an album. Sometimes an album's all right if it all sounds the same, but you want real repeatability sometimes. You want some little bit of diversity inside of there. A common theme, musicianship-wise and arrangement-wise, but a little variance in there. Kind of the same thing. He just needs to get through the night, right? He's even calling on Jesus. Somebody get me through the night because he can't make it without her. Once again, if you've been broken up with in a split up in a relationship, you can keep yourself busy all day. You can be around people, work, friends, whatever. But at the night, when everything gets quiet, man, that's when it gets tough, right? There's nowhere for your thoughts to run. So well done. We're going to finish out the first side with Time for Letting Go, which was another top 40 hit, but it was also later covered by Billy Ray Cyrus as a country hit. And it has the most streams on here, and I'm assuming that's why, because people came and checked out the original version. That song seems somewhat familiar to me. I don't think I've ever heard it. I haven't heard Billy Ray's version. I know that. A really well-written song. I mean, we've established a theme here. Time for Letting Go. So he's just talking about how much it sucks. I mean, I don't even know where to put it. For the relationship to be over with, like, it's over with. It's time for letting go. Like, there's no going back. Like, we can't fix this thing. It's time to be over. But there's the hurt that goes with that. And so we had a little bit of the backing vocals there, but thought it was really well done. I'm also tell you something else. It's a good thing I didn't discover this album in 1990 because, the divorce was pretty rough. I mean, it was the right thing to do. But if I would have been listening to this, man, because Jude is covering this like perfectly. So I don't know if he writes something like this without personal experience. I don't know his background, but he's channeling this pretty darn well. Let's go to the B-side. We'll start out the B-side with Stranger to Myself, written by Jude and David Tyson, who was the producer, if you remember. Let's go. All right, Stranger to Myself. What am I rocking on this one? A really good vocal performance from Jude, powerful. I didn't like this one as much as any of the songs on the first side. It wasn't bad. I didn't really care for the arrangement as much, but I mean, it was kind of the time, but still a good song. I mean, basically he's telling you, look, there's all these girls around and I'm like drawn to you. You got a heart of black, basically, like you're bad news, but like when I'm around you, I'm a stranger. I don't even know myself because it's like he's so infatuated with her. That's how I take it. Next up, we have This Time It's Us. This Time It's Us. Once again, a little more rocking than what you got on the first side. A good vocal performance. Again, well written. I mean, he's writing about, I mean, him and this girl are breaking up, right? They're breaking up or divorcing, but he's talking about how they used to look at everyone else and kind of, I don't know, not necessarily laugh, right? But like sort of laugh and just like, wow, man, I can't believe they're that way. We're doing so great. We'd never be like that. And now this time it's us. So now he's that way, man. Somebody had to do a number on Jude. I just don't think he can write this many songs this well unless you block this out. All right, we got 3 songs left. Next up, we got Heart of Blues. I mean, is it a bluesy song? I don't know. We haven't had any blues yet. Let's see. Okay, Heart of Blues. It was a little bluesy, a little country, a little rocking in there, a little country rock. I don't know, man. Bluesy rock. I mean, it wasn't total blues, wasn't total country, wasn't total rock, but more bluesy than anything else because you had the background vocals on there again for a little while. And I'm coming back in at the end. But, you know, he's basically telling you that he doesn't like the way she makes him feel. And that's Heart of Blues whenever he's with her. So guitar works great. I'm going to assume it's him on the guitar. Really good guitarist, man. Really good guitarist. Still got 2 songs left. We got Compared to Nothing. All right, Compared to Nothing. So he's kind of saying on here that it's better to be in a bad relationship, I think, be with someone rather than no one. But I did find the musicianship credits. Jeff Porcaro from Toto fame and, you know, one of the great session musicians. He was on the drums and percussion just on this track, but Jude is playing everything. He's playing lead, rhythm, and acoustic guitars and everything. He performs the bass on 4 songs, and he's playing the piano on this one. So this man can do everything. So well done. You know, obviously we dialed it way back here and it became a piano song, which he could jump on and shows his versatility. We're up to the album closer, Prove Me Wrong. All right, Prove Me Wrong. He's being the pessimist here in this relationship, and he's wanting her to tell him why he's wrong, why everything's going to work out, why it's all good. So a grand production on that one. I didn't really care for the arrangement, but they really went all out on it. I mean, it's not bad. It just, there's some other songs on here I like a lot better, which is going to take me to my favorite tracks, which Kev said he doesn't have any favorites. He likes it start to finish, but I'll go honorable mention the first track, Hallowed Ground, and then favorites, Baby It's Tonight, House Full of Reasons, and Time for Letting Go. Now we'll get to my overall score. Kev gives it an 8.75, which, you know, if you bring an album, it's obviously going to be one of your favorites, and he listens to it a ton, start to finish. Obviously, he's a trucker Kev. He's on the road a lot. He can listen to these things. It's my first time listening. I'm going to beat a very solid 7.5. It wasn't a song I disliked. Thought the songwriting was really well done. Thought the musicianship was well done. Jude seems like a very talented dude, just knowing his background that we shared at the start. So, you know, well done. And I'm sure it would go up in future lists. There's nothing I disliked about it, but let me know what you think down below. What are your favorites from this album? And should I check out any of his other albums? Thanks again to Trucker Kev. And until next time, guys, I will see you.